Our next guest is the Democrat who was tapped by his party to get this deal done on this commission, on this independent commission. Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi joins us now. He's also the chair of the House Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for being here. So the big news this morning is that you and Congressman John Katko reached an agreement for this commission, but that House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has not signed off on it yet. What happens if he doesn't sign off on this?
Well, I think he will. We have negotiated in good faith since January 6th to get to where we are now. He might not have seen the final document, but to my knowledge, there's nothing in this commission bill that hadn't been vetted by Democrats and Republicans alike.
But Congressman, let me ask you about how it's going to work, because as I understand it, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer will get to choose 5 of the commissioners, and Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell will get to choose 5 of the commissioners. But Kevin McCarthy, of course, is a vital part of the chronology of what happened that day on January 6th, because he had that pivotal conversation with President Trump about trying to call off the mob. So how can he be an impartial, unbiased person in choosing some of the commissioners?
Well, we hope, first of all, no member of Congress can serve on the commission. I hope he will pick some of the most astute individuals we have in the country to serve and allow them to do their work. I hope Democrats will do the same.
Do you trust Kevin McCarthy to do that?
Well, he's the leader, and a real leader will step up in time of adversity. January 6th was a difficult time for a lot of us. I personally was in the Capitol. The Capitol Police was under siege. They deserve a commission report to look at it and fix this problem. The public who comes to this used to come to the Capitol because it was the citadel of democracy. They can't come now. So we have to fix this.
Congressman, I heard you say that some people are already throwing their hat in the ring to be on this commission. Who?
Well, I don't want to give up any names, but trust me, we won't be short of people willing to serve. Clearly, once the word was released today, my phone has not stopped ringing. Other members, likewise, but I think public servants want to give their time and talent to this commission. And if now we approve it and we step back and allow those independent individuals to do their work and bring back a product on December 31.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you about that timeline, because as you know, the 9/11 Commission took almost 2 years. How will you get this done in 7 months?
Well, we will properly staff it. We'll make sure they have all the resources they need to do their job, and we will let them work. We have subpoena power if, for whatever reason, we can't get access to information. So that will not be a challenge for us. We owe this to the men and women who put their lives on the line. You know, this is National Police Week. I think it's fitting and proper that we introduce this legislation today while our police persons all over the country are being recognized. So we need to do the same thing here in Washington. So I'm excited about it. It's been a tough slog to get us to this point. We gave a lot, but it's bipartisan. We put an equal number of Democratic members as well as Republican recommendation. So we tried to take the politics out of it because the public deserves nothing less than an accurate product that we can all live with.
Yes, and some answers. I totally hear you. Congressman, while I have you about Homeland Security, I also want to ask you about the attack on Colonial Pipeline. 2 sources tell CNN that Colonial did pay the ransom. The Russian criminal enterprise asked for $5 million. Should Colonial have paid a ransom?
Well, that's a business decision for Colonial. And coincidentally, I have a call with the Secretary of Energy after this interview. That's one of the questions that I will ask her. I'm not sure I'll get an answer, but we are challenged. This vulnerability with our pipeline security is real. We have, from the Homeland Security perspective, the cybersecurity aspect of it. TSA is tasked with that responsibility. And so we'll look at how do we fix it so we can minimize potential breaches in the future.
But what's your position? I mean, do you think that by paying a ransom, more attacks like this could happen, that it's an incentive?
Well, it's an attractive incentive if that's the case. I err on the side of having a defense mechanism that prevents it. But people have to make business decisions. I would hope that they are not put in those positions in the future.
Well, I mean, I don't know that we have any evidence that these kinds of things are going to stop. Do you think that Congress should pass a law, say, making paying ransoms illegal to try to discourage it?
Well, no. I think Congress needs to work with the private sector on making our security systems, our cyber systems, as robust as possible. And I think going forward, you will see that. But it's a coordinated, cooperation required between the public and the private sector to get this done. Government will have to step in and mandate some requirements of the private sector in order for us to get to what we consider an acceptable security standard. Right now, that security standard is voluntary. And I'm not certain the voluntary standard is going to get us the security regimen that we need.
Congressman Benny Thompson, we really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for answering all of this.
Thank you.
Victor.